awesome Travel Tales Live. Sadly, our guests, Emer and Dervila, are not able to connect with us. We're having like massive technical difficulties, but we wanted to come on and say hello and make sure we hadn't forgotten anyone who's out there waiting for us. So, Amy, how are you tonight?
Hey, I'm really, really good. Here is to the end of another adventurous week for everybody, I'm sure. So here's cheers, everybody. I hope everybody has a good weekend and is staying healthy and happy. And there you go.
And we know it's a serious time. And we hope everybody is safe and healthy, just like Amy said. But we wanted to do this because we feel like the stress is probably horrible for you. It's horrible for us. And we just were hoping to make something funny and have a laugh and tell some funny travel stories because we love to travel. And everybody has that one story that they tell again and something they can't believe happened or just something that amazing, some amazing connection. So that's why we wanted to start this. And hopefully Emer and Dervila can get on the live because they are amazing storytellers and fantastic storytellers. But until then, Amy, do you have a story?
I do have a story. Thank you for asking, Janine. And my story right now, there we go. So I'm going to start right now because I just got notification from Facebook. So I want to do a watch party on my page, even though that this probably is not our best show ever. And but we're going to do that. So here we are. Yay.
So I'm getting a text message from Emer. So
okay, all right. And what is Emer? So Phil, keep talking because then I'm going to do this. So go ahead and try to.
So we've all had a long couple of weeks, and travel is something that really unites us. I know that's become a hashtag now, but it's true. Think about the times that you've gone out in the world and connected with people you would never have imagined connecting with before. You eating the food, experiencing things, and feeling like we are all part of the same global family. You know, and I mean, it's not cheesy, but it's true. Like we're all, and once you meet people from somewhere else, you realize they're not different than you. They care about their families, their friends, their lives, their health, everything, the same things that we care about. And that's why travel is so amazing to be able to get out there and do that. So I know right now we're not traveling, we're not doing anything, but we can still dream and we can still plan. And once this is done and everybody is okay, we'll be out there again. That's what I think.
Absolutely. I agree. And I have to say, though, even though I can't start a watch party because I literally have no idea what I'm doing, Janine, so you're going to have to tell me what in the world I'm supposed to do. But here's what I can tell you is this week I had 3 honeymoon couples. So anybody who doesn't know, I do strictly romance travel. So I do honeymoons, destination weddings, romantic adventures, blah, blah, blah. And I did have 3 clients, 3 honeymoon couples hire me for 2021, and people want to go. And people just, honestly, I think that once we can find some therapies and a vaccine, we'll be all back to normal again, especially the therapy part. It's very scary. And but I think we all want to travel. We all want to go to London, like Janine's sign says. And we want to have all those experiences. I know I'm dying to plan my next trip because all my trips so far have been canceled. So I'm not going anywhere either. So, but I do have one still in June. So I'm hoping that one will be the go for us as well. So we really wanted to bring some levity to the community as best that we could. And we thought this would be a fun way to do it. Like Janine said, we know it's serious. We know that there's there people are hurting. That's why we wanted to bring some joy, hopefully, and some laughter and some really, really good wine, because for me, I don't know, it seems to help. So if you could tell me how to do how am I doing a watch party, Janine? I can't figure it out.
So you should be able to go right below the video on my business page.
Okay.
And start watch party. It should say right below it. Start watch party. So
Go
I
ahead.
have a story if you want to hear it.
Yes, I do.
So think back. This happened a long time ago. So it's 1990. That's how long ago it was. But this story stayed with me forever because just listen. So it's the week before July 4th weekend. I'm in Maine with my friend from college. The beaches are still deserted, a couple people hanging around, the water's freezing, but we may or may not be having a couple of adult beverages on the beach. So the day goes on, we're relaxing because we just had very taxing finals. You know how when you're in school, everything's so dramatic. And we hear a commotion from down the beach. And we see this dad who's big, heavy dad, fully dressed, long sleeve shirt, long pants, shoes, socks, everything, walk down the beach with two kids who are in bathing suits with boogie boards. So they're yelling, screaming, having fun. And for some reason, they stopped directly in front of us, the entire empty beach, except for like 10 of us, and jump into the water, which is freezing cold. I mean, it's Maine water is cold anyway, and this is absolutely freezing cold. So the two of them are having fun, and we quickly realize that the tide is starting to pull them out, right? Dad notices too, and is like, Rusty, Mary Ellen, come on. So Mary Ellen paddle away and doing her thing, but Rusty is ignoring Dad and still hanging out in the water. So he is moving farther and farther out, right? So Dad starts to get a little bit tense. It's like, Rusty, now, come in. Mary Ellen comes falling onto the beach. Rusty can't swim. The tide's pulling him out. Well, that got all of our attention. The entire beach is at alert. People are standing up like, oh my God. Remember, no cell phones, so you're not calling anybody for an emergency. Dad, fully clothed now, starts to walk out into the water. He's up to his ankles. Rusty, let go of the boogie board. Swim in, harder. Rusty, let's go of the boogie board. And he's swimming like a madman, but he's still getting pulled out. The people on the beach are getting closer to the water, just in case Dad, who's fully clothed, can't save Rusty. Dad, in the meantime, is wading in up to his legs, up to his waist, and all his clothes. Everybody, the tension is unbelievable on the beach. Suddenly, Rusty stops swimming. Rusty stands up. He is up to his chest. And Dad, who is now soaking wet from his neck to his bottom, screams, "You can stand up!" Like, oh, crap. And the last thing we see, poor Rusty, he's running down the beach after his dad, saying, "Dad, I didn't know I could stand." So, poor Rusty got in a lot of trouble for almost drowning on his summer vacation.
Oh, absolutely, he did.
Sorry.
That's a great story.
Yes. I still think that story is so funny. And every time I tell it, people are like, "You're a horrible person because you're telling a story about a kid almost drowning." But he did not.
In his mind, he was always trying, right?
And the tension was so thick, we laughed so hard afterwards. But anyway.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
All right. So a few years ago, I can't even remember the year now, Tim and I, who's my husband, in case anybody doesn't know, Tim and I are in Germany. And this is before I had Time Together Travel. So I was in a completely different business. So we're in Germany and we're touring around Germany, and Tim in Austria and all the surrounding countries, right? So Tim is frugal. Tim will save a buck if he can save a buck. And I'm the person that if it's going to provide me a better experience, I want to spend the money, right? But not my husband. So at this point in our relationship and not owning my travel business yet, I said, fine, do whatever you want. So he rented us a car because we like to do FITs, which is, by the way, it's your own personal travel. So you create your own. We do it all the time, Janine and I. So anyway, so he rents us a Skoda, a two-door lime green Skoda. It maybe had 3 cylinders, and I'm not kidding.
Right.
It cost us like $12 a day. Now, what do I know, right? I mean, I'm only going to Germany where they make Mercedes-Benz and BMWs, but that's beside the point. And he and I are driving all over Europe in our lime green two-door Skoda. So anybody who wants to know what a Skoda is, just look it up. That's all I'm going to say about it. So it's the Yugo of Germany, if anybody's old enough to remember what a Yugo is. Okay. So Tim is part of our travel bucket list is to drive on the Autobahn. And so anybody who doesn't know what the Autobahn is, there's no speed limit. You can go as bloody fast as you want to go. You can go lightning speed as your car can go. So we're driving in Germany on the Autobahn, and we're in our stupid freaking Skoda. Lime green, 2 doors. So Tim says, I'm going to open this baby up. I'm not kidding. This is exactly how this went. So we're sitting there in our lime green 2-door Skoda, and Tim decides to floor it. So instead of it going, now it's going, and that starts to rattle and shake. And we're going all of about 60 miles an hour. I'm not kidding, on the Autobahn. That's as fast as this thing can go. And I look behind me and I'm like, ooh, look at this car coming. I'm barreling down on this beautiful Mercedes. And then a Beamer. And my husband in our Skoda, lime green and 2 doors. Away on the Autobahn. So we're on the Autobahn, and I'm like this. Oh, and we're not married yet, by the way. Should I rethink this whole thing? And so we're in the lime green 2-door Skoda, and Tim literally, I'm like, is it going as fast as it could go? I have it on the floor. I have it on the floor. And all it's doing like this, and it's shaking and shuddering. I am scared out of my mind. And what would happen with the Mercedes and the Beamers would come flying by us at like 150 miles an hour. And the whole car would like, because we would get caught in their tailwind. It was the craziest thing. So I'm like, oh my God, get me off the Autobahn. It was horrifying. I was so embarrassed. Oh God, it was so funny.
Rent a car? Like, are you in charge of renting cars now?
Yes, I do everything now. I do absolutely everything. So that was the Skoda. I have a million of them from Tim and I, but that was the one that came to mind was the Skoda, because that's the story we tell all our friends about being on the Autobahn, and we were in a country. We could have rented a Mercedes or a Beamer, but no, we got a Skoda.
You were in a Skoda?
Can you hear?
Can you hear?
You guys are sideways, but you're on. Can you hear Janine now?
We can hear Janine. Let me try this way too. Can you see us? The right way up.
Hooray!
Oh my God!
So we're super happy to have the classy Lassies.
Yay!
Celtic Hearts Travel, Emer,
So
and
I'll tell you this story because you will not believe this. Okay.
All right.
So Dervila's wiping the dirt off me. Okay, are you ready for this?
get closer. Try to get a little closer.
Okay, so we're trying to social distance too. Not working. This is hilarious. Okay, and it's not it is a travel story because I definitely went for a trip right there. So I know it's not a travel story yet, but I have to tell you the story. So we've been foostering and fuddling with the laptop and the phone and the this and the that, and so this iPad is like ancient. It's the first generation iPad that's ever been. So I had to install the Be Live app. I had to install like everything on it as you were on, we couldn't get on. my husband and our neighbors are sitting outside on the green in the front of my neighborhood. There's about, well, I'm going to say 10 because they're socially distancing. I go marching out there with the iPad and I say, why is your username and password on this iPad? And he goes, I don't know. And I say, well, can you just give me the password so I can log in? And he's given it to me. And there's like everybody sitting in a circle. And I turn around and march back into my house and trip on the green. And the iPad goes flying in the air. And they're all looking at me. And nobody will pick me up because it's true story. I kid you not. Come back to Dervila, and I'm like, Dervila, I fell on the ground.
Are you injured? Emer, are you hurt?
I'm mortified. I'm mortified. And they said,
need to drink.
They said, well, did you spill your drink? And I said, I haven't got an effing drink yet. So I came back out to Dervila and I said, you're not going to be happen. And then as I'm talking to you guys right now, I'm getting this. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Cheers, sláinte.
Sláinte.
Here's to Friday night.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's beautiful, Emer.
I'm so glad that you made it on. That's so fun.
A good start.
We're so sorry. You know, the Irish can sometimes be a little slow, but we get there eventually.
Well, that's a good story.
That's beautiful.
Here's another story. So what is everyone drinking? Does anyone have any stories around the cocktails they have?
Yes, I certainly do. What are you drinking,
I'm
Dervila?
drinking flavored vodka with club soda. No story, just delicious.
Okay.
No story, just delicious.
So I'm
That
drinking.
story I know.
You could say, well, I guess you could say it's an Irish mule, but when we were in the Jameson distillery in Ireland last year, it was the favorite place of all of our group of travelers. We couldn't get them out of the place. I think they bought every bottle that they had for sale. So, you know, you do the tour and you do the whiskey tasting and everything, and then they give you a cocktail, like a drink of your choice. So some people were having, shots of, shots, Jameson and whatever. And so they had the drink. So they use, Jameson, and they use that Fever Tree ginger ale. It's also made, I think it's made in England or Ireland, the Fever Tree, and squeeze a lime and ice. So this has been like our signature drink since then. And we had to drag all of our group out to the bus. The driver was like, what are you guys doing in there? We're like, I don't think anybody has any money left because they've bought everything. Everything. So anyway, that's what I'm drinking. An Irish mule.
So you go with groups to Ireland a lot, right?
Mm.
Well, we did our first one last September, and we have another one coming up in June.
Yeah, we're keeping
I'm very confident that
It will. It'll happen. I know it will. It has to happen.
Yeah,
Definitely.
What do you guys?
Yeah.
So my bottle is, so a couple of years ago, I went to Italy and I had the chance to cook with a chef, Andrea Antonini, and went to his home with his wife, and they had a whole beautiful, it's gorgeous, overlooking a vineyard and everything else. And next door, the vineyard belonged to his cousin, so we got to tour the vineyard anyway. But that wine is from there. So I hope, I'm sure he's not watching, but if he is, I hope he's okay, and I hope everybody in his family and everything is doing okay. Yeah. But I honestly, it was such a wonderful experience. And if anyone wants to go to Italy, you should definitely go with him because he is a blast. He was so much fun. So much fun. Oh, wine was flowing. The wine was flowing like wine.
Now, Amy, did you have it shipped over, or can you, Janine, or can you get it locally?
Well, just quick story. So he comes to the United States to guest chef every year. So I had arranged for him to do an event with a business group that my husband goes to, and sadly he had to leave. And he had bought a whole bunch of wine for the group, which I dug into tonight.
That's awesome.
Yeah, unfortunately. So hopefully we can. He'll be around next year and we can do it again because he really is a blast. He's so much fun, and he goes up and down the East Coast.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Amy, we missed your first funny story. I did hear the name Soda, so I know it had to be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were, my husband and I'll just give you the abbreviated version. We went to Germany, and my husband, this is before I owned a travel business. And one of the reasons I own a travel business now is because I let my husband do the planning. And if he can save a buck, he'll save a buck. And he rented us a Skoda to go on the Autobahn in Germany. That's all I'm saying. And it was lime green in 2 doors and maybe had 2 cylinders, maybe 3.
Oh my gosh. How many days did it take you to get to the Autobahn?
75.
In first gear, right?
Yes.
That was the only gear they had.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
So I think it was like $2 a day. So yeah, meanwhile, all the Mercedes-Benz and the BMWs, which by the way are made in Germany, just going to throw that out there, were flying by us, and the car was shaking, and it was very funny. It was very, very funny.
That's hilarious. Fun. Yeah, those Skodas are something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we don't do that anymore.
That's good.
You're in charge.
I am.
I must have had a similar car, but the only time I drove on the Autobahn way back a million years ago when I did the whole backpacking thing across Europe after college, and we rented a car in Germany. I don't even know why, but it's the same thing. We were flooring it, like,
it's shaking, right?
Yeah.
It was 100 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, we had to shoot the squirrels after we got out because the squirrels were dead inside. Running their little legs. They're like, put you out. That was fun.
Oh my God.
They get a bad rap. They really do. The Autobahn is crazy.
Yeah.
Really crazy.
It is.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
So, Lassies, we want to hear your story because I'm sure you have to have a good one for us.
The Irish are a funny crew, you know. We seem to have a terminology for everything, and we kind of do things our own way. So I think a lot of the fun that we had with our groups and with our clients is, you know, the terminology that we use and how everything gets lost in translation. And one that never seems to fail is craic.
Yeah.
So, spelt CRAIC.
I'm sure you've heard of craic, right?
It covers multitude. So, you know, you could meet somebody in the street and they'd say, "What's the craic?" That would mean, "How are you doing?" Like, what's going on? And then you could be, you know, out last night and somebody might say, "Oh, how was the craic last night?" Like, what was going on, you know? So it's used widely across the country, and it's always we always get a giggle out of it when we're talking to clients. And I think another really confusing thing is in the pubs buying around. So the thing is that you do not want to be that person that does not get your round in on the night. So when you go out with a group of friends, you don't want to be that person. Yeah. But consequently, this leads to you having like 2 sips out of your drink and there's another one in front of you.
Then there's another one in front of you.
Somebody wants to get their round in. And you could end up with like, you know.
This happened to me last year.
Yeah.
My husband tried to drink the entire country's worth of Jameson in one night.
Oh, that must have been
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
No, and mine tried to drink the entire country of Redbreast. Is that right?
That's the premium brand of Jameson.
Yeah, he's fancy. So he's kind of fancy. So yes, a lot of red over there in Ireland. Oh, and actually, Justin is drinking a Guinness right now.
Huh?
Justin is drinking a Guinness.
Our Justin friend is drinking Guinness. I saw that too.
Yeah. And my friend Missy is drinking it says How Martini with blue cheese olives, but I think maybe that's I think it might just be a martini. I don't know what How Martini is. So
has anybody come up with a good recipe for the quarantini yet?
I've seen a couple of them. There was one. I've seen one that had vodka and then emergency in there.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. We could do one with airborne.
I was just
Say airborne and vodka would be tasty.
Yeah, quarantini.
It'd be like
Yeah.
having a fizzy orange drink in
Refreshing.
Ireland.
Yeah, refreshing and good for you too.
Yeah, healthy.
Oh, it's good for you.
Yeah.
Get your electrolytes in. So what is the craziest thing that's ever happened to you guys? And would you agree
You couldn't possibly do that on Facebook Live. Okay, so I'll tell you guys a funny story. So Dervila and I met back in the 80s, if you can believe it, in Atlantic City, New Jersey, right?
You're not that old.
I know, I was
We were
12.
children.
Yeah,
I know.
we know, it's okay. We were 12.
Yeah.
So Dervila Dervila and I are both from Dublin, Ireland, right? And Dervila had gotten there maybe a month before me, right? But myself and I got there with these other friends, and so there was a whole gang of Irish living in Atlantic City. Can you imagine, like the crack, like all of us over from Green, like off the boat, just completely off the boat. And so speaking of crack, just reminded me of something else. So when I arrived in the United States, I was wearing a white business suit and stiletto heels because I really wanted to make a good impression coming to the United States the first time.
Clearly you did.
Yeah.
Clearly you left a great impression.
We're
You
all
watched Miami Vice, right? Obviously,
you would not believe this. So I arrived in, and we're going through JFK, and I'm there not even thinking, because the Irish always say this, and I was like, oh my God, I'd love some Coke. Like a Coca-Cola, right? And the immigration officer is like, so anyway, but to cut long story short, so I thought Dervila and her friends, we thought that they were the coolos. Like they were so cool, but we didn't know they'd only gotten there a month before us did. So we would go to the Scranton pub in Atlantic City, and they'd arrive in, and we'd be like, "Oh, here's the coolos."
All going on.
So little did I know that she was a wet week before I was.
Exactly. A wet week.
So,
Yeah.
but wet week. So anyway, but one funny story I do. We brought a friends of ours to Ireland, myself and my husband, about 6 years ago, I'd say, and they had relatives. They'd gone back through their genealogy and their history and everything, and they wanted to visit the Castle Connell. Actually, was the name of the town where their ancestors' graves were and everything. Of course, I was the driver, believe it or not, the designated driver. So anyway, we get to the graveyard, and they're looking for their, the great grandparents' graves or whatever. And this dude comes up to us, this Irish fella, and he goes,
Dude.
"Oh," this dude, yeah, he goes, "Hey, oh, hello, how are you? Hello." And so, "Oh, hey, how are you?" And he goes, "So, what are you looking for? What is it that you want?" So my friend, says, "Well, actually, our great grandparents are from this area. Oh, what's the name? What's the name of them? Where's their people from now? What's their name?" And they're like, "Well, I think that at the time it was Dwyer or whatever." And they were like, "Oh, the Dwyers. Oh, sure, I know all about them. I know everything about them." And so he started to tell us all this stuff about the family history and all this kind of stuff. And he goes, "And they call me Google. They call me Google around here. Google, Google." So we're like, "Oh, that's fantastic," right? So he was looking, I could get the sense that he was trying to, earn a few bob, like get a few quid, pounds, money, moolah. So
Money, dollars.
Yeah, dollars. So
I'll translate for you.
yeah,
Okay.
one of them was like, "Oh, thanks so much. Thank you very much," and gave him like, I don't know, $20 or something, 20 euros.
Wow.
So then we went to the pub in town. We walked into the pub, and it was like right after lunch, but the bar was full. Everybody was having their afternoon pint of Guinness, right before their nap. And we all ordered a drink, and we were sitting there, and we said, "Oh my God, we met this guy who's just so helpful. He was really interesting, and he just gave us all of this information on our friends and everything." And they said, "Oh, what was his name?" We said, "Well, he said they call him Google." But the whole bar just burst out laughing. "Oh, we call him a lot of different things than Google."
So when you guys were there, did you have any lost in translation problems?
Who,
No.
us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, all the time. Well, here's the problem. So I can drink with the finest of the Irishmen. Truly I can. And so can my husband, which he tried desperately last year. The problem is that we have a harder time understanding when either we're drunk or you're drunk. We can't figure out what it is.
Both drunk.
We kind of
If we're both drunk, they can't understand us and we can't understand them.
Yeah.
And it just becomes this cluster. And all we do is just laugh because they're telling us a story and everything's grand and they're doing this and all of that. And then we wait because we don't know, is this a sad story? Is it going to be a scary story? Is it going to be a funny story? So we wait. And then when they laugh, we're like, oh. Of course, we raise our glass.
Yeah.
Say, oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I
You wait.
know. The accents are so crazy.
Oh my God.
Ireland will fit into Georgia, and you can be hearing one accent, and 10 minutes down the road, the accent can be totally different.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy.
Oh my God.
My one lost in translation thing that I remember, and it wasn't in Ireland, it was in England, and I lived in England for a couple of years after college, and I was working as a waitress. And one time, so this is gonna be my horrible British accent, but they were like, "We'd like some afters," and I'm like,
Huh?
"Afters?" I'm like, "Afters? What the hell an after?" Right? They were saying afters.
Yes.
And of course, I don't even know what that was. And I'm like, and they're like, afters. I'm like, afters. It's
Dessert, yeah.
dessert.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was kind of a lost in translation thing. And the woman looked at me and said, divided by a common language. And I'm like,
divided language, right? That's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
I'm like, I think so.
Oh, God, that's funny.
So where's everyone dreaming of traveling next?
Ireland. Ireland.
In June? Yeah.
Supposed to be going there for a month with my kiddos, and my husband will pop over and say hello. So hopefully, we make that happen.
Yeah.
And Ireland then, and then France in 2021. We're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So how about you guys?
Go ahead, Ginny.
Well, we were supposed to go to Japan in June, so the very beginning of June. So we postponed that to 2021, which is fine. Japan will still be there, and hopefully everything is good. And instead, we'll go. My daughter's graduating from high school next year, so we'll go after she graduates. So that will be a trip before she leaves for college, and I'm excited because we love Asia. We love to go to Asia. We've been to Taiwan a few times and Hong Kong. And my husband travels here all the time for business. So Japan is one of the only places, not one of the only, but one of the few places that he has not been in Asia.
Wow.
So that would be nice because it'll be all new for him rather than him already have visited, 7 times. So I'm excited about that. And it's too bad about the Olympics, but we are definitely before the Olympics. We're not going during the Olympics.
You know what I have to say? I was kind of surprised that they postponed the Oberammergau. Were you not? Because it's not till when? September, October?
Really? They did?
Yeah, it's 2020.
I didn't know.
No. They're probably just planning ahead and it's Germany as well.
That's true.
So, they are.
Yeah.
They're very
Rigid.
Yeah. Very rigid on that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I'm kind of surprised about that. I'm supposed to be hosting Virtuosa hosting an Alaskan cruise in August with Janine Fay on a Region 7 sailing.
Wow.
So, but we're also just, we're like everybody else, we're just in a holding pattern to see, because of all of the cruise lines and everything. So I'm really.
Oh my God, I would totally join you on that, Emer.
Yeah.
You and Janine? Oh my God.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah.
So do you guys still have spaces on your trip in June?
Pardon me?
You still have spaces available?
We have some spaces on our trip in June, and again, we haven't been really promoting it just because we're very much in a wait and see and a hold pattern with it too, just to see if we may end up having to move it. Our hope is that we won't, but none of us know right now, right? But we will move it if it comes to that. Yeah. But hopefully we'll get it in this year.
Do you want to talk about it a little bit, just so we can send it out to our fans?
Well, we are tentatively meeting in Dublin on June 20th. So you'd fly from here on the 19th if we were going to be our first port of call. And then we're going to head up to Culloden Estate and Spa just outside Belfast.
Beautiful.
We'll do Titanic and the Black.
Oh God, it's awesome.
And then that's all Game of Thrones territory. So we'll do all
Yeah.
that. Up to Giant's Causeway and over to by the coast of Antrim to Donegal, and then down to Sligo and Galway. We're going to have afternoon tea.
Yes.
In Ashford. And then we'll circle back around to Dublin and have a couple of days in Dublin to do the sites there.
Yeah.
And then we depart on the 28th.
Yeah. So it's 8 days. It's a beautiful trip, and you know, we're so used to doing the south. The north is just. Did you go up the north when you were there, Amy?
I did. Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah.
I did.
So it's just lovely to do something different as well, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, Ireland, every part of Ireland has something different to offer, right? I mean, just the accents alone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was one of the things, first time I went there, I've been there a couple times now. The thing I noticed, because we went to Cork first, the first time we went, and the accents changed as we went around. And in Dublin, it's so guttural. It's almost like New York City, but in an Irish brogue. So, yeah, I'm super. Is this a big group that you guys are doing? How many people?
No, we're topped out. How many are we topped out at? Like
About
20?
20.
Yeah.
Now we have a bit of flexibility in that, but we like to keep our groups
small.
small and intimate.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Are you guys leading it? Are you guys like doing the whole tour thing? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe Tim and I'll join you just because, you know.
It'll be the crowd.
How much fun would that be?
Yes.
Yes.
It would be fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Multiple cracks.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Not like a crack.
The crack. Even like we found like last year, it was so funny because you know the way, like if you're not stuck with, but if you're with a group of people all the time, you know, Dervila and I, one of the nights we got to Kinsale Harbour, and we just said, look, you know what, everybody is on your own tonight. Just, you know, go to the pub or go, you know, we'll see you later. So we started to go up to our room, and next thing is we started getting we were all on WhatsApp, you know, the texting app, and they're like, well, where are you going? And where are you going? We were like, everybody, everywhere we went, we were in this group. It was hilarious. And we were like, well, we're just going to go to like Kitty O'Shea's. And they were like, well, can we come too? We're like, yeah, of course.
And let me tell you, that was one of the biggest compliments we could have received was
Aww.
to stay together and travel as a happy family. And we were like one big happy family.
Yeah.
So it was
That's awesome.
made many memories.
Yeah.
And we had Hurricane Lorenzo
Yeah.
following us around the country. We had to make a couple of detours and that, but it was all good, and our group just took it as it came and were flexible, and so we were very fortunate. But we had the crack for sure.
We definitely had the crack. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you had the crack, did you?
The bar in Dromoland
Castle. Yeah, they totally finally said if I sit. The guy was the bartender.
Frank, we nicknamed him Frank because he kept bursting into Frank Sinatra
songs,
and of course we wouldn't give up one more song, and this song, will you go to bed? We were like, oh, okay. So we had the best crack.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think we need to travel with you.
Right?
Oh, we'd love.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was great. You know, you just never know. I mean, you never know with the group, you know, how everybody is going to blend and everything. And everybody really got along like a house on fire. Like it was really, really great. There was no, we moved around every night and made sure that we connected with everybody and, you know, spent time with everybody. But it was just like a big, happy family, you know, it really was. So that really encouraged us to lead a group again because, you know, you just don't, you know. And we were treated like royalty too, which really, we looked like superstars, like everywhere we went.
But you are superstars. You're the classy lassies.
We were able to ask Lassie, but we knew the suppliers, a lot of the places, and so when we would get there, there'd be like special amenities in the in their rooms, or like a shower. Where was that?
It was down in Schneem.
Park.
So we had we stayed in Schneem one night, which is right on the Ring of Kerry, and we had arranged to go on. They have a beautiful nature walk, and we had arranged to meet the falconer, and he was going to come with his birds, but Hurricane Lorenzo had a different plan. So we couldn't go for the walk. I mean, it was sideways rain. It was awful. So the falconer came with his owls into the hotel lobby, which was a big treat. It was a big hit with everybody. We all got to hold the owls. And this poor gentleman, he arrived up like the squire in his beautiful tweed
jacket.
And he was all composed and dignified.
Yeah, he had China. They brought him a China cup of tea, you know, and he had the owls. He had the owls out in his van.
And two barn owls, and there's this other beautiful, he called him Fatso, and he had those like big auburn eyes that would just stick and lock you in. But the poor man, by the time he was leaving, he had a bloody lip here and a bite gone out of him here.
Bird crap.
Oh, from the bird?
One way and left, looking at it, disheveled. I'm sure he was
like he was. The owls had like
all up in his hair.
He just got done shaving. He'd all these like
little trickle of blood
and
here.
we were like, thanks very much, thank you.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Real treat.
It was a treat, yeah.
Oh my God, that's so.
Not for him, it was not a treat.
I feel like we've been doing all the talking.
Yeah. So, Amy, one quick question. Is that a Christmas cactus?
Yes.
Behind you.
Oh, wait a minute, wrong way. I have to do it that way, yes.
Oh my God, Dervila Christmas cactuses.
That's another story. I'll save that for another day.
I have two of them now, so I have to tell you, I've had this quickness. I think, just so you know, I'm going to have another drink.
Yeah.
So I've had this Crickman Katniss for a gazillion years, not even close to kidding. It's forever. And the damn thing has never bloomed.
Oh.
Not ever, not one time has ever bloomed. And I have talked to it. I've loved it. I've fertilized it. I've changed all the windows. We moved to our new house, which is where I am now. And you guys know the story. So we moved to our new house. Damn thing blew up with flowers.
Oh, it likes it there.
How cool is that? Yeah. So I was like, oh my God, it bloomed. So I might even still have a couple on her. Yeah. And then my next door neighbors, some of our neighbors were bringing us presents when we moved in. And one of them brought me a Christmas cactus. And I have two of them.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Lovely.
Dervila literally dragged Dervila out of a client's house last year because we went to meet this client for a river cruise. And Dervila, the whole time, Dervila's like this.
He had this huge Christmas cactus. I love Christmas cactus. My mom always had them. We always had them growing up. So I've always tried to nurture.
I'm trying to get you.
Do not have green fingers.
And she goes back home.
Lady, I mean, you should have seen it. It was massive.
They're crazy. They're beautiful.
So I left that house and I was like, God damn, I'm going to work. So I marched up to the local pike, and I was like, I have this Christmas cactus and it's pathetic. So she gave me this fertilizer and said, now it's summertime, so put the plant outside, if it's anything above 50 degrees. Well, I did. I put it out on the deck and it thrived. It did.
It
was beautiful. And one morning I'm sitting there having my coffee and this squirrel comes up, jumps up in the pot and runs off with a piece of Christmas cactus outside. I immediately set the dog on him.
Oh my God.
The dog lost and took my baby inside, but it's much better now. It's much healthier. And
so you took it outside? I've never had her outside. Maybe that's, but yeah.
They say 50 degrees. Of course, we're in the south, so it's kind of a lot wetter down here.
Yeah,
by way of humidity and stuff.
Yeah, take her.
What happens? Take her for a thing.
I'll take her for a walk. As soon as we get above freezing, that would be good.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's so funny that you're saying that. You know, when you're in your own reality, I mean, you can see what the weather's like here. It's been like, I think today was like
80.
80 degrees
Crazy.
and sun.
Wow.
And we have
We got 60.
yeah.
And it's only March. Imagine what
Yeah, it was amazing. 60 was fabulous.
I turned
Was
off
it-
the heat today for the first time. I turned off the heat today,
Oh, that's
so it was
great.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
Janine, do you want to wrap this up? We're just talking.
Yes. So
Talking
thank
about Cactus's Christmas.
I know. So just thank you everyone for coming to our happy hour, and we hope you had a laugh and maybe forgot a little bit about your stress. In troubles just for a little bit. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, that's all we're trying to do. So soon enough, we'll all be out seeing the world again. And in the meantime, stay safe and keep telling those stories because we can dream now, but travel later, and we can't wait. So thank you all for coming, and thank you, Dervila and Emer. It was so much fun.
Both.
You guys are the best.
You guys are great.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Have a great week.